with you. You have to avoid the feeling of having a monologue with the screen. So, can you open and read the course outline?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so 10 minutes. And remember that I'm always here for any questions you may have while reading. Okay, any questions so far? Or is everything clear? So let's start with the part about course resources. So you have just downloaded a course book, which looks really nice, right? Okay, this one. So this will be our course book in the next 4 months, in the fall semester. And as you can see on the screen, this is already the 5th edition. So the book has been revised so many times. And this edition is very updated and the book is very useful. So you can see it here. I have a copy of the book, a very nice copy of the book, and I like it a lot. Well, I got this copy as a present for winning a game at a workshop in Thailand 4 years ago in 2017. I attended a workshop and then I got the book, the original copy of the book at that time. Yeah. So my advice to you is to print the book out so that you can have a hard copy, a physical copy like this. Why? Because I know that the book is a little bit thick with nearly 500 pages, and for sure you will not need all the chapters in the book. But then you may print it out. Now you can go to the photocopy store near your house and you get it printed out. Because when you listen, when you attend the lecture, so you see something I'm sharing with you on the screen, and then you also need to take a look at the book at the same time. So it is very difficult to switch between the windows, like you switch to Teams to see my slides on the screen, and then you switch to the PDF file, and then it's like that, and it's really difficult for you to focus on the contents of the lesson. So it is much easier for you to follow the lecture if you can read something on the screen and together with the hard copy of the book on your table. So yeah, it is highly recommended that you get the book printed out so that you can have a hard copy of the book in front of you for all the lessons. And it is also very convenient to do it that way because you can take notes, you can highlight the important information. And another advantage is, you know that we are working online all the time. So for you, you have to study online. You have to prepare for the lesson online. You have to work in groups online. You have to do your assignment online, everything online. And this is very stressful for your eyes, kind of very strained to your eyes, eye strain. And if you have a physical copy of the book, you use Kindle, huh? Okay. So if you have a physical copy of the book, then well, you can read the book without looking at the screen, and it's much better. It's more relaxing to your eyes in that way. So that's why I highly recommend you to print it out. It takes some money, yes. It takes some time to go to the photocopy store. Uh, the book is a bit thick and heavy, nearly 500 pages, but it's useful and highly recommended. Okay, so you can see the chapters in the book. The number of each chapter here is corresponding to the numbers in the tentative syllabus. Like this, in week 1, we are having an introduction to the course, but of course, I'm not going to introduce the course in 3 class hours. No, I'm not going to do that. So you will have an introduction and also a bit of chapter 1 and chapter 2 today. So in the next week, we work on the basic concepts in ELT, and you will work on chapter 3. And actually, you need also to work on chapter 6, 5, and 6. And the week after that, we work on chapter 2. This is a very big chapter, kind of a major issue in ELT. So we have the whole lesson for chapter 4. So what I want you to do is to prepare for the lesson before class. That is, you spend some time reading the book before the lesson in the afternoon. Yeah, so that you can have some ideas in your mind when I ask you to discuss an issue, and it's much easier for you to get a big picture of the lesson while listening to the lecturer, which is me in this case. Right. So the book is also very helpful for you when you give a presentation. Of course, I don't really want to mention assessment at this point, because you know assessment is very stressful, and of course no one wants to be stressed in the very first week, right? Just a note, nothing much about assessment at this point. Just enjoy learning. Now here, for example, if you have to give a presentation about or related to teaching vocabulary, then before you make the outline for that presentation, you need to work on which chapter. Right, now I throw the ball to you to check that you can follow what I'm talking about. Lương Thị Hương, which chapter do you have to look at? I'm giving you an example.
Yes, hello teachers, and you have used what you have said. The next week we will concentrate on the chapters once. I'm sorry, the chapter 2. Yeah. Wait a minute now.
Okay, you know, sometimes the connection is lag, and then we'll lag too. I'm just kidding. Oh, well, what I'm telling you is that you need to take a look at the chapter number here to prepare for your presentation. For example, if I give you a topic related to teaching vocabulary, then when you prepare for the presentation, first of all, you need to read chapter number what? You need to highlight it. Number what? Which number? Chapter number 15. You need to work on the chapter first to have a firm understanding of teaching vocabulary before you move on to the specific topic. Các bạn sẽ phải có một cái assignment là phần presentation, là phần thuyết trình nhóm. Thì cô đang hướng dẫn các bạn là ví dụ như khi các bạn có một cái topic nó liên quan đến teaching vocabulary, có thể cái topic này các bạn chưa học ở trên lớp, nhưng trước khi chuẩn bị cho phần presentation thì các bạn cần mở cái phần course outline này ra, và các bạn biết là thậm chí có thể là không cần đâu, các bạn mở course book ra cũng được. Thì ở đấy nó sẽ có tên của cái chuyên đề, ví dụ như teaching vocabulary là chapter 15. Thì các bạn sẽ mở đến cái phần đó, các bạn đọc cái chapter đó trước, rồi các bạn mới đọc tới cái gọi là specific topic mà các bạn cần phải present. Nó sẽ có một nó sẽ cái chapter đó, thông tin chapter đó nó sẽ giúp cho các bạn có một cái gọi là firm theoretical background, tức là mình sẽ phải có một cái big picture trước khi mình đi vào các cái chi tiết nhỏ hơn. Đó. Thì cái chapter này là cái mà các bạn cần phải refer tới khi các bạn chuẩn bị cho phần presentation, và thông thường thì các bạn sẽ phải đọc trước, vì phần presentation nó sẽ khớp với cả cái buổi dạy. Ví dụ như các bạn present về teaching vocabulary thì nó sẽ cùng với buổi mà cô dạy teaching vocabulary, và cái nhóm presentation thì thường sẽ phải đọc kỹ cái chapter đó trước. Right. So the chapter number is also kind of guidance for you. Like this is week. Next week is week 2, so you need to read chapter 1, 2, and 3 in order to prepare for that lesson. But I need to It's like I need to say that for today's lesson, we work a bit on chapter 1 and 2. So next week, please work on chapter 3, 5, and 6. And I will remind you of that at the end of the lesson. Okay, so this is how you understand the tentative schedule. So the content for, oh no, not this. The content for each lesson in the semester. So it's very clear for you to follow, to keep up with like what we are working on and what we are going to work on. Right. And now a little bit more about assessment. Of course, you don't have to worry much about assessment at this point. Just a few ideas for you about assessment in the semester. So you will have a test for 45 minutes, a very short test, mainly about the knowledge about language teaching and learning. And the question formats include MCQ or true false or matching and gap fill and short answer. So it means that the questions are relatively short, and you can take the test in class if at that time we are allowed to go to school, or you may take the test online with our system at HAST, exam HAST system. So no worries about it. The test is quite short, just 45 minutes, and it accounts for 20%. What does it mean, 6, Ian? Okay, and well, for the group presentation, there are 26 students in our class, so it means you will have 7 groups, 4 groups or 5 groups of 4 students, and 2 groups of 3 students. Right, I will type it here. You will have 4 groups of 5 groups of 4 students. So it means 20, right? And we have 2 groups of 3 students. So it means 6. So altogether we have 7 groups and 26 students, right? And you can choose your own group members. For the presentation topics, I will give you a list of presentation topics to choose from next week. If the 2 groups choose the same topic, then I will decide randomly, yeah, who can go on with that topic and who has to change. So I'll give you a list next week. But the first presentation is in week 5. So it means that you have 1 month to go and you should not worry too much right now at this moment. Okay, so the list given to you next week. You have the right to choose your own group members so that we have 7 groups in total. And yep, that's it. So if too many groups choose the same topic, then yeah, the topic won't be decided randomly. But first of all, you have the right to choose. For the written assignment, you have to make a lesson plan. You have to write a little bit about rational and the theoretical points and a little bit of reflection. However, you can see that you have a very long way to go to this assignment because it is due in February 2022. So a very long way to go, right? This is the first week after the TED holiday. So we have the semester. We have the semester, and then we have 1 spare week at the end of the semester, right? And then we have the TED holiday for 2 weeks, and then you have 1 more week to complete this assignment. So it means that you will have a lot more time, and I will give you a lot of instructions about lesson planning in week 12. Yeah, for the last 3 weeks, you have a lot of instructions and guidance about lesson planning to work on the final assignment. So that's a long way to go, and right now you don't have to think anything about the final assignment. Just leave it there. Yep. Because it is due in 2022 after the TED holiday, so there's no reason to worry about it right at this moment. Okay, so here are a few ideas about assessment in the semester. Yep, a little bit different from what we did last year. Yeah, we have just made some changes to make it more flexible and to make the assessment feasible in any cases, whether online or offline. If we can go to class, then you have some micro teaching as practice. But even if we have to study online, then we can still complete the semester on time with feasible assignments and assessment. Okay, so any questions so far for this part? Or you are happy with that?
Yes.
Sorry, Lan? You want to say yes or no? No question?
Oh, yes, I have no question.
Right. So yes and no in the same sentence. Okay. No need to worry right now, right? Because we still have 1 month until the first assignment. And just a note for you. Có một chi tiết nho nhỏ thôi, đó là năm ngoái thì đây là kỳ này là kỳ đầu tiên mà cô phải dạy ELT online. Vì năm ngoái là ELT dạy ở kỳ 1 và nguyên vẹn kỳ 1 năm ngoái thì được học ở trường. Đó. Thế thì năm ngoái thì thông thường trước khi mà các bạn ấy thuyết trình ấy, ví dụ như là tuần 5 thì các bạn ấy present, thì thường là tuần 4 các bạn ấy đã có sẵn cái outline rồi. Và tuần 4 các bạn ấy sẽ mang đến trường để các bạn ấy hỏi cô xem là outline đấy đã được chưa, có cần phải thay đổi gì không, có nội dung gì cần phải điều chỉnh để cho cái nội dung phần thuyết trình là được tốt nhất và có thể đạt được kết quả cao nhất. Thế thì năm nay nó sẽ có một cái hơi khó là bởi vì là mình học online. Thực ra là cũng căng thẳng hơn nữa ấy. Thì với cái nhóm mà cô dạy từ tiết 1-3 ấy, thì cô đã thống nhất với các bạn ý là cô sẽ hỗ trợ các bạn ý là ví dụ như là tuần 5 present thì đến tuần 4 các bạn ấy sẽ phải ready với cả cái outline, thậm chí có thể sớm hơn cũng được, tùy các bạn hết, bởi vì có bạn thì present tận tuần 11 lận, nhưng mà nếu mà tuần 8 các bạn ready rồi thì các bạn có thể hỏi cô từ tuần 8. Nhưng mà mỗi một nhóm thì có thể book một buổi với cô vào buổi tối 30 phút thôi. Và thường thì cô có thể available sau 8 giờ. Tức là ví dụ như là các bạn ready rồi và các bạn thống nhất với nhau là các bạn free vào tối thứ 3 chẳng hạn. Và các bạn muốn hẹn với cô từ 8 giờ đến 8 giờ 30 tối thứ 3 của tuần sau nữa chẳng hạn. Ví dụ thế thì các bạn có thể book một buổi như thế sau 8 giờ tối, trừ tối thứ 4 và tối thứ 6. Còn lại thì 2, 3, 5, 7, chủ nhật đều được. Tránh chủ nhật thì tốt hơn đúng không? Đó, 2, 3, 5, 7 sau 8 giờ thì chúng ta có thể là có 30 phút. Cô sẽ lập một cái kênh có tên là presentation, và khi mà hẹn xong thì chúng ta sẽ vào cái kênh đó, chúng ta sẽ tạo một cái meeting vào giờ hẹn và cô sẽ làm việc với cả các bạn trong nhóm presentation để có thể clarify và finalize được nội dung. Khi nào các bạn ready thì các bạn nhắn. Tuy nhiên là highly recommended là at least 1 week in advance. Bởi vì sau khi mà clarify, sau khi mà finalize có thể các bạn sẽ vẫn cần phải điều chỉnh. Và nếu như các bạn để đến gọi là 2 nights before the presentation thì mọi thứ sẽ rất là căng thẳng cho các bạn. Đó. Thế thì ví dụ như là mình assign xong rồi mà nhóm nào mà phải present tuần 5 ấy, thì tuần 4 có thể hẹn gặp cô lúc nào đấy, hoặc là mấy ngày trước presentation các bạn sẽ chủ động hẹn với nhau trước và sau đó là chốt lịch với cô 30 phút một buổi tối nào đấy trên kênh presentation ở trong Teams này. Để nếu các bạn không cần hỗ trợ thì ok, that should be fine too. Ok, nhưng mà đấy là một option cho các bạn nếu như các bạn cần hỗ trợ. Ok, clear to you? Cái meeting đó là optional nhá. 30 minute support là optional. Và các bạn có thể là không phải chờ đến 1 tuần trước khi present, mà khi các bạn chuẩn bị xong outline thì các bạn có thể hỏi cô sớm để mình có thể chốt nội dung sớm cũng được. Nhưng các bạn sẽ có 30 phút một nhóm. Okay, online meeting, evening, 30 minutes. Highly recommended 1 or 2 weeks before the presentation day. Okay. Yeah, to get the support from me to do the best you can for the best results. And of course, you present online because we are not allowed to go to schools these days. Trường mình bây giờ chỉ cho phép các sinh viên thực hành thí nghiệm vào trường thôi. Còn lại thì sẽ bị dừng lại tại cổng Trần Đại Nghĩa. Okay, right. Now So, well, I think that's enough information for you about an overview app. Just one more note. You see a list of books in the list for recommended readings. So most of the books here are available at the library of software. However, because we have to study online and you cannot go to school at this time, so you cannot access these books. So next week, I will upload some of these books to OneDrive or Google Drive. I create a folder, and then I upload the books there, and I'll share the folder with you so that you can still have access to the books, yeah, for your reading. But I know that you're busy too. So maybe the cost book is really kind of extremely highly recommended. And still, I'll give you some of the books in the list here if you want to read them. Okay, next week I'll send the e-copy to you. Share the folder, Google Drive or OneDrive folder with you. Okay. They're available at software, the hard copy, but unfortunately we cannot go to software now. Okay. Well, that's everything I can tell you about the course outline and assessment at this point. Any questions so far? No? No more questions, right?
Em thưa cô,
Yeah.
bao giờ mình gọi là có cái danh sách để ghi tên nhóm vào ấy ạ?
Các bạn cứ trao đổi thảo luận với nhau trước đi, mới có tuần 1 thôi mà, cho nên là take it easy. Chưa phải căng thẳng quá về phần các thể loại assessment vội, bởi vì nếu như mà mình cứ lo lắng về assessment quá thì nhiều khi cái cảm giác học nó rất là stressful ấy. Nên là take it easy. Các bạn present vào tuần 5 thì đến tuần 3 mình chốt topic và mình start working cũng được. Với cả khi mà mình có một số các cái ideas trong đầu về ELT là cái gì rồi ấy, thì khi nói về presentation nó sẽ đỡ căng thẳng hơn. Có lẽ là cô sẽ chuyển cái list of topics cho các bạn vào tuần 2. Chúng ta sẽ chốt danh sách vào tuần 3 để các bạn có thể chuẩn bị và ready với cái outline vào tuần 4 và sau đó các bạn present vào tuần 5. Nó có một cái timeline cho dễ follow vậy nhá.
Dạ, em cảm ơn ạ.
Okay, thank you for the question. That's a good question. Lệ, right? Okay. Any more questions?
Em thưa cô là một nhóm thuyết trình có 5 người được không ạ?
Nó sẽ hơi mất cân đối em ạ, bởi vì các cái chủ đề ấy, nội dung của nó sẽ là xem nhau về mặt độ dài. Nên nếu mà cùng một cái độ dài mà một nhóm thì 5 người làm, một nhóm 3 người làm thì cái phần workload đó nó sẽ không được cân bằng lắm. Cô nghĩ là nó không phù hợp. 3 đến 4 thôi. Em ạ. Nó sẽ phù hợp hơn. Những năm trước cũng chỉ có 3-4 thôi, và thông thường thì nếu mà cái group work mà với số thành viên lớn thì cô cũng thấy là nó không hiệu quả lắm, bởi vì nó chia nhỏ thì với mỗi một phần presentation là từ 30 đến 40 phút mà các bạn có 5 người thì cái phần presentation đấy nó sẽ phải kéo dài tới 50 phút thì cái khối lượng công việc nó mới bằng nhau, đúng không? Nó mới gọi là không phải bằng nhau. Mình cũng sẽ không có bằng tuyệt đối đâu, nhưng nó cũng sẽ tương đương nhau. Đó. Thì việc đánh giá nó sẽ công bằng hơn, fair hơn cho các bạn. 3 đến 4 thôi nhé. Các bạn sẽ tự chọn group members trước. Còn nếu như mà không chọn được thì cuối cùng cô sẽ group randomly cũng được. Vì thực ra là ở cái tầm của năm cuối thì cô nghĩ là mức độ về gọi là gì nhỉ? Flexibility, cái mức độ linh hoạt ấy, nó phải cao. Mình có thể làm việc với bất cứ bạn nào. Tất nhiên là cô cũng biết là nếu như mà mình đã có group từ trước, đã có hiểu cái style làm việc của nhau thì nó cũng hiệu quả. Nhưng mà anyway là mình có thể adapt với mọi tình huống. Cô nghĩ thế. Còn nếu mà các bạn không chọn được nhóm thì lúc đó cô sẽ assign randomly với các bạn còn lại. Okay, now, so let's move on to the next part of the lesson today. What time is that? I think you may need a break. Otherwise, you will feel very tired. Okay, so let's enjoy a break for about 10 minutes. And let's go back at, 20 past 4 or 4:20. Right, enjoy a break. Get some snack, some tea, some stretch out. Hello, I'm back. Are you ready to continue?
Yes.
So for those who are ready to continue, can I see your hands? Your hands up with the icon. Okay, 3 of you. You need to put your hand up, not clapping your hand. Yeah, that's it. And then I will know who are not in the meeting. So how about Buổi?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you please raise your hand? How about Nguyệt, Ngọc Hân, Yến? All right, and I still see more here. Nguyễn, Phương, Thanh. I'm sorry, I don't have a hard copy. Nguyễn, Phương, Thanh. Okay. The hard copy of the students list. Thu Uyên, Bảo Ngọc. Thanh is not here yet. Ngọc is not here either. And Yến. Okay. So maybe still very busy drinking tea or having snack. Okay, now let's move on to the next part of the lesson with four main ideas, four main contents. First of all, this is a kind of a challenge for you to see how well you know about English language. And to take a look again about who speak English all over the world. And the first attempt to describe the English language. So English language is a very broad term, and we need to, we may try to, how to say, to break it down into smaller elements, and then a few first ideas about English language teaching. Right, I need to switch to another slide. Right, here it is. This one. Now for this activity, I want you to turn on your camera. First of all, so that I can see familiar faces, bright smiles instead of the screen. And then I want you to turn on your camera because this activity involves some physical movement. I'm going to show you some statements, 6 altogether, I think. And if you think the statement is a myth, which is not true, then you keep sitting still, which you have been doing for the last few hours, sitting still in front of the screen, right? So if you think it is a myth, you keep sitting. But if you think it is a fact, then you can stand up. So you have to take a look at the statement to decide whether to stand up or to sit down, or to stand up again and sit down. So that involves some physical movement. First of all, to wake you up if you still feel a little bit sleepy, and to relax your body a little bit, because we have been studying, we have been working for quite a long time, sitting in front of the computer, right? So, but still, when you decide whether to sit or stand, then you have to think whether it's a myth or fact. I mean, the statement about English language. So, yeah, can you turn your camera on if you feel you're ready with that? Okay. Bright faces, bright smiles. Not the black screen anymore. I love that. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, nice to see your faces. And Ling, I think is that you're in a very nice room, I think. Well, nice view to Ling. Please turn on your microphone. Well, that's just the background. I mean,
yeah.
the
This was your background.
background photo. Okay, right. So now you have to decide whether to sit still or to stand up. Let's start with the first one. Zhuang, can you read the statement for me?
Yes, teacher. English originally came from the United Kingdom.
Okay, now you have to decide. Even when you don't turn the camera on, you can stand up and sit down and stand up and sit down. So, do you want to sit still or do you want to stand up? English originally came from the United Kingdom. I see Win standing up. You think this is a fact? How about the others? Don't look at me. Look at the statement. I may sit down, but you may stand up. It's up to you. So standing up or sitting down, up or down, down or up or down. You have to decide. So this is a myth. Why? Because English is a German dialect. In the past, it was a German dialect. So originally, it came from German and Germany, not the UK. So this is a myth, right? Now, be prepared for the next one, which is more challenging. Nguyệt, can you read the statement for me? Read it out loud. Nguyệt seems not to be in the class. Bùi Linh?
Hello.
Okay. Nguyệt.
English becomes an international language because the United States dominates the world economy.
Thank you. What do you think? Is it a myth or fact? So you sit or you stand?
I'm sitting.
Okay, so why do you think it is a myth, Zhuang?
Because I think the English becomes more common use because the United States that invade other countries and they
Really?
yeah. Yeah.
Kind of, I'm challenging you, so just keep talking.
Not because the United States economy, I think.
Because of the colonies.
Yeah,
So,
not the economy.
Okay, any more ideas? Anything else? Do you think the US dominates the world economy?
I think at that time is United Kingdom.
Okay, so you're talking about the British colonies, right, in the past?
Yeah.
Yes, that can be one of the historical reasons why English has become an international language. Maybe first of all because of the British colonies around the world in the past, centuries ago, right? But the US, it dominates the world economy, yes, but that's not the reason why English has become an international language. So yes, this is a myth. How about this one? So you are very good at English. Yeah. And you have to reach C1 at the end of this school year, this academic year, right? Reach C1 level at the end of the academic year. So do you think the correct past tense of teach was teached? Now, do you want to stand up? Or sit still? No one wants to stand up? No? Are you sure?
Definitely.
Huh?
No.
Zhang?
No.
No? You sit still. Now let's take a look at the statement again. There is a trick there. The correct past tense of teach was teached. So now the correct past tense is taught. But then in the past, it once was teached. So for this, you have to stand up. This is a fact. In the past. It was correct in the past. Okay, here, see? So, yep, this is a trick. How about this one? Now I can sit down, right? Because why? Dung, what do you think about statement number 4?
I think statement number 4 is not correct. English is not spoken in the countries. English is spoken in many countries. For example, in Vietnam, we also speak English.
Okay, it's an international language, right? So it was spoken it is spoken all over the world. Yeah. So for sure, for this question, I can sit down. And this, what do you think? Can I sit because I feel tired, or do I have to stand up now? Predominantly non-native. What do you think?
I think it's fact.
It's a fact. Are you standing, Zhang?
Yep, I'm standing.
Okay, good. And I see Win standing too. Yes, this is a fact. You will see the numbers later in the next few minutes. And the last one. Now, any ideas? You don't want to stand anymore. Now you sit. Too tired to stand up. So, Mai Loan.
I think it's not correct.
It's a myth.
Because Singaporeans talk English, but not British, but Singlish.
You mentioned Singlish, so it's the Singaporean accent of English, but they don't sound British, right? Well, now imagine a situation. I want to now I want to sit down. Yes, on a chair next to a table, and I see that the chair is available. So I want to sit down, and I ask, sorry, can I sit down here? Can you guess the answer? What does the Singaporean person say to me? Sorry, can I sit down here? So will she say, yes, you can, yes, please, yes, of course? And sometimes you hear, okay la. Do you know where it comes from? Okay la. So okay and la. Usually we say okay. Okay la.
From Japanese.
I think it's from Singapore.
German.
Yes, you're right. Because Singaporean people, when they speak English, they tend to add la to the end. And coming back to the previous situation, sorry, can I sit down here? Then a typical Singaporean person will say, yes, can. Yes, can. Not yes, you can, or yes, of course, or yes, certainly, or something like that. Yes, can, instead of yes, you can. They tend to use yes, can, or can I go up to the next floor? Can. Yeah, they nod their head and say can. Yes, you can. Right. So that's a kind of a variety of English, the Singaporean English. So Singlish, if you study semantics, it has a negative sense of meaning. That is, when you say Singlish, it is kind of discrimination. And the more neutral way of saying that is Singaporean English. So it's neutral, and it's a variety of English used by the Singaporean. That's it. Just like we say Vietnamese English, it sounds neutral. But if we say Vinglish, then it sounds a little bit, you find it negative, right? A little bit. Right. So, So this is the myth. And 2 years ago, I went to Singapore for 1 month. And well, it's really interesting to experience life in Singapore and to listen to Singaporeans speaking English. In Singapore, the most common language is Chinese because 70% of the people there, of the citizen, are Chinese or Chinese origin, right? But then the second language is English, and on the train, I mean MRT, mass rapid transport, yes. The instructions are in 3 languages. The first one is Chinese, the second one is English, and the last one is Tamil. I mean for the Indian group, or the group of people with the Indian origin. Yeah. So the instructions are in 3 languages, and English is the second one. Yep. So yeah, some more facts you may want to know about English language, the language that you love and you're studying. And so let's go back to the question: who speaks English? People all around the world, you see, with the globe, and English spoken all around the world. According to the statistics by Jenkins, 2015, yep, more than 1 billion people around the world speak English. So you belong to that 1 billion, right? And how many billion of people are there in the world right now in this year?
Around 7 or 8.
Okay, so maybe about 8 billion people, right? And so it means that more than 1 billion people are bilingual, speaking 2 languages like Vietnamese and English, or multilinguals. So how about you? Besides Vietnamese and English, what other languages can you speak? What other languages can you speak?
Chinese.
Some Chinese. For Zhuang, how about Japanese? Any of you? Any of the students in the class can speak a bit Japanese? And Ling, you are nodding your head. Can you speak Japanese? Or Chinese too? I can't hear anything. You need to turn on your microphone first.
Yeah, because of the internet connection, so I can't hear your question clearly. You guys speak it again.
We're talking about multilinguals, speaking many languages. So I know that besides English, we offer French and Japanese and Chinese as TOEFL. So I'm asking you, which languages can you speak? You can speak.
To be honest, the second language in TOEFL I choose is Japanese, but I just can speak it a little bit, not too much.
Okay, I see. I am also a multilingual. However, my third language, French, is very poor. A few years ago, I had a chance to be in Paris, and you know what? I had to ask for a direction to the square. Which language did I use? In Paris, I asked for direction in English because I was not confident at all with my French. Yeah. I studied French as my second foreign language at the university, but I was very bad at it, I have to admit. So in Paris, I spoke English. Right. Right. And more statistics for you. So in the previous activity, we say that English is predominantly spoken by non-native speakers. And there you can see the number. So how many percent of the communication is between non-English speaking and non-English speaking people? What do you think? It's quite clear here. Very clear here. So the majority of communication in English is between non-native and non-native English speakers, and only 4% English to English people. So it means that English is used in the world as the lingua franca. Have you ever heard about the word lingua franca?
Yes.
Lingua franca, what is it? What is it? Lingua franca. I think if the word is new to you, then you can find the word on page number 3 in your course book, second paragraph. And can you find the word and type it to our meeting chat? Any of you can do that. Go to page number 3 in the course book, paragraph number 2. And English as a lingua franca. Can you type the word to the meeting chat? Nguyễn Thị Hồng Mây, right? Yeah, I can see the word from you, lingua franca, that's it? Yeah. So lingua franca means, for example, I speak to an Indonesian colleague, and her first language is Indonesian. My first language is Vietnamese, and then we communicate about English language teaching in English. So in that case, English is the lingua franca, or the means of communication, the language for communication between the two non-native speakers of English. Yeah. Hai người mà có hai ngôn ngữ mẹ đẻ khác nhau và đều không phải là tiếng Anh, nói chuyện với nhau sử dụng tiếng Anh. And in that case, English lingua franca. Yeah. Ngôn ngữ chung để giao tiếp giữa hai người không có cùng ngôn ngữ mẹ đẻ. That's it. So non-native to non-native for most of the time. Okay, and we may feel very proud when we belong to 1/8 of the world who are bi or multilingual. Right. Now let's move on. I hope that you find the circles here familiar. What do they mean to you? Yeah. Familiar with the circles here? Yes. In the course called World Englishes, right? So which countries are in the inner circle? You say yes. Môn này bình thường cô nhớ là cô Hải Anh dạy. Kỳ trước các bạn học với cô nào?
Cô Hải Anh ạ.
Cô Hải Anh ạ.
Okay, ôn bài của cô Hải Anh. Which countries are in the inner circle? Can you name a few?
United States.
Okay, the United States, or in short, the USA, and for sure the UK, right? Anything else?
New Zealand.
Australia, New Zealand, and Canada.
Okay. And in what? Sorry. And Canada, okay. So what is the common thing about those countries? What is the common thing about those countries?
Their first language is
Okay, so English as the dominant and national language, the first language there. And also in Canada, they have two dominant languages, which are French and English. So a part of Canada, they speak French, and another part, they speak English. So for some countries, they have more than one dominant language. Like in Belgium, they have a part of Belgium, they speak French, and another part, they speak Dutch. Okay, so two languages equally important. But the countries in the inner circle, they have English as the dominant and the national language. So how about the outer circle? The outer circle. No.
Yes. The outer circles includes countries that have the colonial relations with English original speaking countries like the British or American. And
okay.
And I think in this circle we have India, Malaysia, Singapore, and some others.
Okay. So what is the status of English in those countries?
English is spoken as a second language.
Okay. So in those countries, English, okay, English is used as a second additional official language, so it has the status of an official language in the country. And we may have the Philippines, we may have Singapore, India, Malaysia, yeah, and some more. Right. So how about Vietnam? Do you think Vietnam is in the outer circle? You think Vietnam is in the outer circle?
No, Vietnam is in the expanding circle.
Why do you think Vietnam is in the expanding circle but not the outer circle?
Because Vietnamese people it's difficult to learn English, and
Really?
we have more than 20 Việt Nam language, gọi là tiếng dân tộc ấy, có nhiều tiếng dân tộc.
Okay, so please wait for a few seconds. For a few seconds, because I really want to find a link. The link here, because a few years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, then there was a much heated debate about whether English should be our second language or not. I want to paste the link to your meeting chat for your reference. Okay. And one of the link is there already. And one more thing. More thing. So that you know more about the status of the language that we love in Vietnam. So actually, 3 years ago, there was a much heated debate about whether to grant the status as the official language in Vietnam or not, and the answer from the government was no. English is just one of the foreign languages used in Vietnam, like Chinese, like Japanese, like Korean, but not the second language. Maybe I think there may be underlying reasons, right? Because English is widely used in Vietnam, yes, but then the other foreign languages, they are also important in terms of diplomatic relationship, in terms of economic relationships. So it is a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit sensitive to say that a language is the second language in Vietnam. So that's why the official status of English in Vietnam is one of the foreign languages commonly used in Vietnam. Yep. So that's why English is in the expanding circle. Sorry, Vietnam is in the expanding circle, where English is used as a foreign language. I have another. Well, this has implication for English language teaching. Why? Do you think teaching English in the countries in the outer circle is different from that in a country in the expanding circle, and how? How? Theo các bạn thì việc dạy tiếng Anh nếu như mà tại một nước mà tiếng Anh là ngoại ngữ và tại một nước mà tiếng Anh là ngôn ngữ thứ hai, nó có khác nhau không? Và khác như thế nào? Theo các bạn.
I think it's different.
How?
In my opinion, with the country's English as a second and additional official language, maybe in the environment of English in the countries is like more fluently and more effective in the learner. And maybe they have the base on their family or some case in the daily life.
Okay. So you have some interesting ideas. Yeah.
But with foreign language, and maybe in some case we have to learn English for functional in the school or some future job like that. So it depend on us to learn about English.
Okay. So when English is an additional official language, it is widely used outside the classroom. That is, most of the courses of the universities are in English, and most of the people, especially the young generation in that country, can speak English very fluently. So for the learners of English, especially the beginners, they can have a chance to practice English outside of the classroom. But in Vietnam, when you go out of the class and you want to practice English, people will look at you. It's like something very weird, right? So outside the classroom, if English is used as a foreign language, if the status is just a foreign language, then the learners will not have enough chances to practice the language outside the classroom. And that's the difference to, that's the implication to English language teaching in those countries. And well, I have one more activity for you. I think it's good to revise the lesson with Mrs. Hai Anh, but this is also, I think, an interesting lesson for you to know more about the status of English in different countries. So please wait for a few seconds and I'll send you the link to the activity. Okay, here it is. I need to click share, set assignment, and the time, right? The date is today, already October, right? Okay. Now, please follow the link in the meeting chat. It will take you to word wall. Right. Okay, I will click the link and share it with you. Yep. So yeah, the interface or what you see is this. World English is cut through 1990. So cut through is an Indian linguistic. Yep, Indian linguistic. Right, and I click start. Okay, so this is what you see. I want you to put the countries in the right group by dragging and dropping. For example, Indonesia. For example, we have Vietnam, right? So I think Vietnam is in the outer circle. Then I drag and drop it here. But if I change my mind, no, it's not in the outer circle. I want to move it to the expanding circle. I can do this, or I can drag it back to the original box like this. Okay, so you drag and you drop the countries to one of the three groups here. And I'll give you 5 minutes starting from now. Are you ready with that? Something for fun?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, now let's go. Maximum 3 minutes. I'm sorry, 5 minutes. So you need to be quick. Yep. Still here for any questions you may have. Or okay, so how about all of you? Can you please finish the activity quickly and click submit answers? You have like 10 seconds left. Everybody, can you please do that?
Yes, I did.
I just want to make sure that all of the class members click submit answers. Like Vietnam, I put it here in the expanding circle, and then I can submit answer. There's only one correct answer. Okay, and right. So you may click leaderboard to see your position in the list, or you may click show answer. And then you click correct answers. There you have the correct answers with group number 1 for New Zealand, for UK, for Canada, USA, and Australia. For group for the outer circle, we have Malaysia, Philippines, Nigeria, Kenya, Bangladesh, and Singapore, and the rest in the expanding circle. Okay, so do you feel a little bit surprised about the answers? Any of you may feel surprised about these answers on the screen?
I will thought that Indonesia is in group 2.
Okay, Indonesia, you think it should be in group 2? Anything else?
I also think that South Africa in group 2. Yeah,
Okay.
and the correct answer in group 3. I don't know what.
Okay, so you think South Africa should be in the outer circle. So how about Nigeria and Kenya? Are you surprised that they belong to the second group but not the third group? And do you wonder why English has became so popular in Africa? Remember that the results are taken from the book written in 1990. So it means how many decades ago? 3 decades ago. So that's quite a long time ago. At that time, Nigeria and Kenya in group 2 and South Africa in group 3. So do you know why English became so popular in Nigeria and in Kenya? Can you make some guesses? Các bạn có một cái môn là văn hóa xã hội Anh và Mỹ rồi đúng không? Tại sao tiếng Anh lại phổ biến ở châu Phi thế? Yeah. Based on what you know. Can you guess why English has become so popular in Africa? Do you still remember the slavery trading from Africa to the USA? Slavery trading and slavery, and then the Civil War in the USA in the 18th century. Okay, so English has been around there centuries ago. And in Nigeria and Kenya, they speak English. I have some Nigerian and Kenyan friends, and some from Uganda and Tanzania. And you know what? They speak English beautifully, very fluently, and without any mistakes. So I was very surprised when I talked to them for the first time. And you know, that's kind of a stereotype that people in Africa is kind of lower level. No, actually, for some parts of Africa, then English is very how to say a very common language. Yeah, popular language, and people there can speak English beautifully. Yeah. Now, well, for Ling's idea about South Africa, why is it in group 3 and you think it should belong to group 2? Do you think the countries in the circles, they stay still in the same place for years? There is no change? Do you think Vietnam should be in the expanding circle with the status of English in our country? Vietnam never say that English is our official language, but you see that English is compulsory at the at the secondary school and then high school. It is one of the compulsory subjects at the university, and whenever you apply for a job, it is highly likely that you have to show your the certificate with your level of English. So do you think Vietnam should be in the expanding circle? Or are we moving towards the outer circle?
I think Vietnam move from expanding circle to outer circle is quite hard. Yeah. Because
Remember.
English is You guys can keep going.
Okay, so remember that we are talking about the official status, and the official status can only have with the permission from the government, right? However, that's the kind of the official thing documented. But actually, for the current use of English in Vietnam, I think we are moving towards the outer circle, but we are here, like approaching the outer circle, but not in the outer circle. And for the case of Malaysia, English is popular there, but I was there too a few years ago. Because I love traveling. So I was in Malaysia a few years ago, and based on my observation, then Malaysia tends to move towards the expanding circle. So Malaysia here and moving here, Vietnam here and moving here. That's the way it is. So it's just like South Africa. Maybe 30 years ago, they were in the expanding circle, but now they are kind of somewhere here. Yeah, closer to the outer circle. That's it. So the countries, they don't stay in the same place for years. Actually, there are some changes, and we have to acknowledge that. Right. So does that answer your question, Lee?
Yeah, I don't have any questions now.
Okay, but that's an interesting comment. Yeah, interesting observation. So, you know, people in the countries, they are moving in and out and in and out, and then the status can change at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Right. I think we may have a look at the what? The results. To see who has the most correct answers. Right, here it is. Please wait for a few seconds. Okay, so congratulations, Han. You're in the first place with less than 2 minutes and 18 correct answers. And then Hue, okay, you also have 18 correct answers, but you need a little bit more time. And for Mai, just kind of a few seconds more, and you're in third place. So I hope you enjoy the activity. And I hope the activity can remind you of the status of English in some countries. Okay, are you happy with this?
Yes, I'm happy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it means that Mrs. Haiyang can be very proud of her students. Okay. So even we start a new semester, but then you can still remember her lessons very well. That's great. Okay, now let's move on to the last part of the lesson today before we can stop, because I know that this is already the end of the week and the end of the day and also the end of the week, and you may feel tired. May feel, right? Okay. Right, so how do you understand about word Englishes and intelligibility, and which implications do they have to English language teaching? So word Englishes, why should we mention that? This is also the name of the course that you had last semester. Word Englishes, what does it refer to? And what kind of English do we teach? English or Englishes? English language teaching. So what English? Which English to teach? What do you think? May?
English. I think the word English relevant to the foreigners talking English in the world. Each countries have their own um, um, each country have their own way to talk English.
Okay. So you may refer to Englishes because in reality, our students are more likely to speak English to a non-native speaker. Maybe he or she may have more chances to speak English to a Korean, to a Japanese, to a Thai person. I mean, yeah, Thai or Thailand. Yeah, person from Thailand or Thai, and then Indonesian, and I mean even Cambodian or Laotian. Yeah. So more chances to speak English to the non-native speakers. So in that case, we need to, well, it depends on the level. For the beginners, we should not teach kind of Indonesian English to them, but for higher levels, just like you or students or high school students, then you might expose your students to different variety of Englishes, right? Now, I think I can give you some exposure like that with this video. Oh, no. Okay, now let's take a look at the speaker. Can you guess where she is from? Can you guess? Oh, I think I share it with you. Not yet.
I think you didn't share. Okay.
Okay.
I think she's from Philippines.
No. Look at her costume. Look at her costume.
I think she's from the Middle East.
No, not the Middle East.
I think she's from India.
Not India either. She's from Indonesia. Right. Indonesia. Okay, and she's a teacher of English in Indonesia, and she's my friend. All right, and here is her name.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.
You will not understand this part because she is speaking Indonesian.
Assalamualaikum.
And her name is Imatun Awalia, and usually I call her Bu Ima. And Bu in Indonesian means sister. Yep, yep. So usually I call her Bu Ima. Yep, Bu meaning sister.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, boys and girls at home. How are you today? I hope all of you are fine. Here, Ma'am Ima from SMP 1 Kundang Tulungagung, East Java will present about procedure text. Before we start our lesson now, I ask you, what did you have for your breakfast this morning? Can you make it by yourself? Okay, now we will study about how to make something or how to do something which is called procedure text. The communicative purpose of procedure text is to tell the readers or to explain the readers how to make something or how to do something. Like other texts, procedure also has generic structure. The generic structure of procedure text consists of three parts. The first is aim or goal that can be seen from the title. The next, materials. Material consists of things or ingredients that we need. And the third is the steps or method. Steps consist of series of instructions or ways that we should do.
Okay, so do you find her accent easy to understand, or does she sound understandable or intelligible to you? Right, now let's go back to the slide. I want you to focus on word Englishes and intelligibility. So intelligibility, the noun is the noun, and the adjective for it is intelligible or understandable. So can you understand what she says? Hmm? Can you understand what she says? No? Nothing? She is a teacher of English, and she teaches English to her students. And you know, if you want to do some business with an Indonesian company, it is very likely that you will listen to this kind of English, this accent. Instead of saying structure, she says structure, right? Instead of saying material, she says material. Material. Yeah, something like that. So remember that English is used all over the world, and from English it has become Englishes. And for most of the time we speak English to non-native speakers. So it is essential, it is necessary to expose our students and even to expose ourselves to different varieties of English. Yeah. And we should be open-minded as well. That is, the focus is not sounding like a native speaker, but sounding intelligible or understandable. So we should not focus on trying to push our students to sound native or native-like. Instead, because you know, English is just our foreign language, and the way we speak English is affected by our mother tongue. Like in Vietnamese, we don't have the ending sounds, right? And it is very difficult to for a beginner to say to differentiate from nine, nice, and knife. Nine, nice, and knife. Because in Vietnamese, we don't have any ending sound. So we need to help our students to see the differences and to learn gradually. And we don't aim at something like native standard, because even when we say native standard, then what kind of standard? Should we sound like the Queen? The Queen, should she be the standard, or should we sound like President Biden? Here's the president. Should he be the standard? Or even in Vietnamese, do we have any standard? Think about the news reporter on VTV at 7 p.m. every day. So we have Mrs. Hoài Anh from the south, right? And then we have some news reporters from the north. So which is the standard? Which is the standard for Vietnamese accents? Do you think it is difficult to say?
Yes.
Okay, so it's very difficult to tell. Uyên? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Is it difficult to say the note? To say the North Vietnamese.
Okay, so we cannot say that the North accent of Vietnamese is the standard. Then the people from the South, they may say, no, that's not the standard. Ours is the standard. So the aim should be intelligibility, understandable. It's like understandable to the listeners. It should be the standard, right? And well, of course, it depends on the level of the students, and we will go further about that later in the semester, but not today. But then I just want to give you a few ideas about different varieties of English in the world, and also about the concept of intelligibility. And you can see, yep, those concepts in chapter 1, which you will read at home. Right, where's the book? Okay, here it is. You can find these concepts in chapter 1. Some revision about Cashro's 3 circles, concentric circles, right? And then different varieties of English, and which should be the standard, or should we think about intelligibility as the standard? Or yeah, and on page number 3, as I said earlier, then you have English as the lingua franca, yeah, the common language for communication between the two non-native English speakers, right? That's it. So that also brings us to the end of the lesson today. I don't want to keep you too long. I know that you may feel a little bit tired at this point. So yep, what you have to do, we have just covered some issues in chapter 1 and also in chapter 2. In chapter 1 only. So next week you need to work a bit on chapter 2, describing the English language and also some issues in language learning. And we explore a little bit, not too much, about being the learners. So whether we should teach the children and the adults in the same way, or in a different way, or differently. So the age factor and the learning style and the learner differences. And we also discuss a little bit about the role of the teacher in the classroom, just teaching, just giving a lecture, or any other roles. Or yep. So next week, your home reading. Which chapters? Can you tell me what you should read at home before the lesson next week, so that you have a good background for discussion? So, home reading. Chapter
2, 3, and 5.
2, 3, 5, and 6. And please don't work on chapter 4. Yeah, I've just typed it to the meeting chat. And please don't work on chapter 4, because that's one of the main area, kind of one of the key concept in ELT. And we may have the whole session for chapter 4 only the week after next. Yeah, in the next 2 weeks. Tuần sau các bạn cần xem trước bài số chapter số 2, 3, 5, 6. Chapter 4 thì skip nha, bởi vì là chapter đó nó khá là khó, và nó cũng có chứa nhiều các cái khái niệm thuật ngữ quan trọng trong ELT, và mình sẽ phải dành cả một buổi thì mới có thể học được hết chapter 4. Hôm sau mình sẽ học một số các cái vấn đề về issues in language learning, về khái niệm learning, rồi các cái đặc trưng của người học và các cái vai trò của giáo viên trong lớp học. Sau này cái này các bạn cũng sẽ thấy là cái việc đọc đó nó giúp các bạn hiểu sâu bài hơn, và cái việc hiểu thật kỹ bài ấy nó cũng tốt ở chỗ là khi các bạn làm cái final assignment nó đúng là final đấy, tức là nó sẽ là tổng hợp kiến thức của cả một kỳ, thì các bạn sẽ phải viết là cái hoạt động đấy các bạn thiết kế là dành cho cái hoạt động đấy nó phù hợp vì learners là như thế này. Ví dụ như cái hoạt động đó nó chỉ phù hợp với cả young learners thôi, nhưng nó không phù hợp với adult learners chẳng hạn. Thì những cái thông tin về learners của tuần tới sẽ phục vụ cho việc mà các bạn viết các cái thông tin ở trong final assignment. Nó thực sự là final assignment, nó thực sự là summative assessment, tức là nó summarize nội dung của cả một kỳ. Là mỗi một lần mình chịu khó mình đọc bài ấy thì nó sẽ đóng góp một chút, gọi là working towards the end of the semester. Mỗi ngày một chút, mỗi tuần một chút thì các bạn sẽ đỡ bị ngợp ở cuối. Khi mà nếu mà để tất cả đến cuối kỳ ấy, thì chúng ta sẽ phải đối mặt với một cái cuốn giáo trình khoảng 500 trang. Lúc ấy các bạn sẽ không biết là phải bắt đầu từ đâu để tìm ra được các cái theoretical background, theoretical points cho bài viết của mình, cho cái final assignment 2.000 từ đó của mình. Đó. Thì nên đọc dần dần và cố gắng làm thế nào để enjoy reading cho nó đỡ căng thẳng. Okay. Những cái chỗ nào các bạn hiểu rồi thì các bạn nốt lại, những cái chỗ nào các bạn chưa hiểu các bạn có thể là gạch cái dấu hỏi chấm ra bên lề và hôm sau có thể hỏi lại cô để cô clarify cho. Okay. Well, so we have been working very hard in the last 2 hours, I think, more than 2 hours. So, are you happy with what you gained from the lesson today? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I hope so. Okay, so something to take away after the lesson. Okay, and some home reading. And right now, well, enjoy the course first. Nothing related to assessment and evaluation, and no stress for that. Things will be fine. Okay, so well, enjoy your dinner and enjoy your weekend. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye-bye.